Trigger warning, this is going to be a heated conversation here today, one of which is necessary to have. So make sure that you send out this video to everybody that you know so they can join in on this conversation so we can critically think about it. Now, what is it that we're going to be talking about here today? When should men protect women? The initial news story that I'm getting ready to go over, as well as the follow-up conversation, should drive for a unique conversation, but this needs discussion. Now, shout out to the queen of accountability, for without my friend Daphne, I would have not been able to see this content. But let's get right into the news story so you guys know what is currently happening. This man's life has been ruined over a bold-faced lie after trying to protect a woman. Let's watch.
The Ackworth Walmart shows Patel walk in last month.
Shopping for Tylenol for his elderly mother.
As he walks the aisles, video shows him cross paths with this woman in a motorized wheelchair with a baby in her arms and a little girl under her feet.
She's pointing to where the Tylenol is.
Patel's back is to the camera, but as the chair moves forward, he appears to lean in. That's when the mother says he picked up her son. She did not respond to requests to comment on the new video, but told us last month.
He pulled him, I pulled him back. We're tug-of-warring.
And this video is very clear that that did not happen.
She says her client thought the kid was going to fall, so he was helping her readjust. Video shows him back up. She points to something, and he moves in that direction.
If you're in Walmart and you see someone in need, you're just going to have to let them fall, apparently. Yep. You're just going to have to let them, whatever happens, happens. We can no longer help handicapped people is what this is saying.
The mom says she doesn't need the wheelchair, but her kids wanted to ride it. She has trouble driving it, backed into shelves, and appears to run over her child's foot with it.
This man even jumped to help the child when the child fell. That's what people do.
While that's happening, an employee helps Patel find the Tylenol. He holds it up as he talks to the mom on his way to the checkout counter.
He's not fleeing, as the police have said. He's not fleeing. He's using his debit card. He's talking with an employee here, paying for it in his own name.
He stops to talk to a worker before leaving, and police arrested Patel days later. Last week, a grand jury indicted him for attempted kidnapping, assault, and battery. He's been in jail nearly a month now. His attorney plans to ask for bond in 3 weeks.
This kidnapping of a minor bell was rung. Once that bell is rung, it's really hard to unring it. It's really hard to get that back and get him a bond.
First off, shout out to this lawyer right here. She goes by the name of Ashley Merchant. I have friends of mine who have been represented by her that she greatly aided in them not seeing the inside of the four walls of a prison. But just as we saw a second ago, here is the mugshot of Mahendra Patel, whose life has been ruined due to a false allegation. And if you heard correctly, he's been in jail for over a month. Just imagine for a quick second if this was your life right now. You have someone that's sick in your family. You go to the store trying to get the medication. You come across a young woman who appears to look like that she should be able to walk, but she's in a motorized scooter. The child's falling over. You help the child, thus providing protection to a random stranger. You pay for the item. You go home. You continue to nurse the sick person back to health. And then a couple of days later, you're put in a position where you can no longer be amongst the sick person or be amongst your family, your kids, your significant other, all because of somebody lying, for someone victimizing themselves to get, I don't know, money. I don't know if she was going to file a civil suit. Clout. She just wanted to be up on TV. The cops never checked the tapes at the stores. They never corroborated any eyewitness testimony. They went straight to his house and stripped him of his freedom. This guy, who looks like he's never been to jail within his life, a middle-aged man just trying to do what's best, and is now within a jail system, hopefully not getting taken advantage of. I said on a stream not too long ago that I believe today that we're no longer in a hashtag believe all women society, but perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps I'm dead wrong. And in fact, men at the point of accusation are guilty until proven innocent. And your freedom can be stripped at any moment due to an accusation. This should terrify you. There is no reason to help protect anybody within your life that is not your loved one. Some people may call that being a coward. I call that lowering your risk and protection of yourself and your family. Because now that this man is in jail, who can he protect? Who? Who's getting medication for his ailing mother? Who? But then also think about this. What if there was no recording? Oh, What if there was no evidence that she completely made up a kidnapping out of thin air? Then I would bet you that not only would this poor middle-aged man be in jail a heck of a lot longer, but he would more than likely lose a case against this damn lunatic. How many Duke lacrosse teams are we going to have to experience? How many Johnny Depp versus Amber Heards are we going to have to experience? How many Rhoda the Brickface lying Osmond cases are we going to have to experience when we watch famous men all the way down to average, ordinary, everyday men experiencing this shit before we begin to have this conversation? Protect yourselves. If you're not in my family, or if I do not consider you a loved one expecting protection from me, miss me with all that bullshit. After this man has been officially exonerated, I'll bet you he'll never be the same again. And I'll also bet you that the young lady will not receive any charges for her wrongdoings, unless Ashley Merchant and family decides to go full scorched earth on her. Nevertheless, there's actually a little bit more content left. Let's finish up.
Kidnapping, assault, and battery. He's been in jail nearly a month now. His attorney plans to ask for bond in 3 weeks.
Wow. This kidnapping of a minor bell was rung. Once that bell is rung, it's really hard to unring it. Right. It's really hard to get that back and get him a bond.
Did someone try to take you from mommy?
Coaching.
Yeah.
Coaching. Oh, no. Miss Caroline Miller, a.k.a. Carolyn Bryant, I hope that you burn in a lake of fire, madame, for you damn deserve it. Now, because of your crazy ass, you now have men legitimately asking themselves, what's it worth? I might as well just turn and look the other way as I watch something over here happening, because what if this is a setup? But this is what they utilize. Innuendo, manipulation, reputation destruction. This is what they utilize. The manipulation of that child to say that he was tugging at the child. Oh, she is a piece of work. Nevertheless, though, when we think about this current state debate regarding what a man should protect.
Are y'all telling us that if you are not related to us?
Yes.
If you are not dating us?
Yes.
If you're not having some sort of physical relationship to us?
Yes.
If you don't find us attractive?
I don't know about the attraction thing, but the other three for sure.
If you don't find us polite enough?
True, big true.
Kind enough?
That too.
Quiet enough?
Sure.
That our lives are not worth protecting? Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah.
Is that the precedent you're setting?
Yes. Yes, that's the precedent that we're setting. I'm not being held responsible to protect what I am not accountable for. I am also not to be held responsible for protecting those with a behavior that is not worthy of being protected of. Why? Well, it puts me at risk. It puts me in danger, and the trade-off for men are potentially fatal. Shout out to the Poor Man's Podcast, another friend of mine, who is recently having this debate up on the TikToks. Let's listen. So they were having a debate in regards to what is a man, how do you define manliness, and eventually the topic came up of men protecting women.
Be a gimme.
Yeah, it kind of is a gimmick because I get asked what's a woman all the time, so this was my response. So let's talk about the second one. Go ahead.
I think you define manliness through a man's willingness to strive for masculine virtues.
Which are what?
Protection, specifically.
Do you think protection is a way? Okay.
We got a male Femi up here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Keep going, the Poor Man's Podcast. Keep going. Cook. I'm gonna let you cook.
Well, I think because men have the men have the monopoly on force.
The what?
Men have the monopoly on.
Back up. No, back up. I heard you. What was you about to say?
Men have the monopoly on force.
That's not what you were gonna say.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say. Since men have the monopoly on force, and that kind of grants us with the ability to protect a little bit differently than women.
Yeah.
And I think things that we contribute to manliness are things that associate with men becoming more capable of pursuing the masculine virtue of protection.
Do you think men are inherently protectors?
Yes.
Who do we protect?
We protect society. We protect our families, women, children, and each other.
It's actually so interesting how a lot of the female Femis all look so similar. Like it's just like a guy. It's like a character selector screen. You know what I'm saying? on a video game, you can always look to the female Femi.
Other, hopefully, our comrades.
Who do we protect them from? Who do we protect them from?
We protect them from the harshness of reality, nature, and other men specifically.
Hang on now, because I'm not talking about hurricanes. Who do we protect? Society, children, women, everybody, family.
You can't be specific about that and take away hurricanes, because we do protect from hurricanes too, because we protect from everything.
Podcast, I just specified I'm not talking about hurricanes. So who, meaning, who do we protect people from?
People who try to intrude on the sovereignty of the people we love.
It's such a well-framed answer. All right? Keep listening. The sovereignty of the people that we love, the freedom of the people that we love.
We're getting closer. Who are those people?
If you want me to just say man or woman, men, because I understand this direction too. And we could go down this road too. But yes,
great. So let me ask you this question.
But specifically, though, I'm sorry, let me be a little bit more specific. Bad men we consider to intrude on the sovereignty of the people we love.
Right, but you said that it's inherently.
But you said men are. Men are inherently protectors. Why? There can't be bad men.
Yeah, but I'm talking about. Well, I'm saying manly. No. There definitely can be bad men, because there are some guys. We wouldn't consider it manly for a man to trample on the weak. That's not manly. If we're talking about manliness, I'm talking about pursuing the masculine virtues of protection.
Hang on, men are rewarded. Men are rewarded for trampling on the weak all the time.
Yeah, they may be rewarded physically, but you wouldn't call that manly. We wouldn't associate that with
manly. Men do.
Agree.
If a UFC fighter goes and punches a kid, you wouldn't call that manly. If a UFC fighter goes and punches a guy who's also a UFC fighter, you call that manly.
Let him cook.
And it's really just because it's it's because it's a signal towards the ability to protect better.
No, it's a signal towards violence.
Oh, yeah, and since men have the monopoly on violence, we have to be capable of being violent towards those who try to intrude on the sovereignty of the people we love.
Very true.
So the Poor Man's Podcast, you see how many times you've mentioned violence and harm in your definition of manliness, right?
Yeah.
It's a requirement to be able to fight and harm others and protect others from people causing harm and, being violent.
Yes. I sometimes think that these people just don't live in reality, right? Like, it's like we've been in such a protective state or society for so long that you just don't experience nature. Yes, within nature, in order to protect the young, in order to protect those in your pride, violence must be initiated. Within human people, let's take it to the government. Let's say you don't pay your taxes. They threaten you with violence to pay your taxes. They'll put you in jail. They'll put you in prison. That's the ultimate. Putting someone forcefully into a cage is one of the most ultimate forms of violence. At the base level, the most granular level of humankind, the baseline incentive of everything we do is the threat of violence. The reason that men don't step to other men's face and talk shit is because there is a perceived threat of violence. The reason that women can say things to men that are a lot more disrespectful in front of them than a man can say to another man is because there's not a perceived threat of violence, because men have been taught since they're young that we're bigger than women, therefore you should not lay hands on. But everything goes back to violence. You don't pay your bills, your mortgage, the bank come take you, get foreclosed on, they will throw you out. And we entered a room and they were having a conversation about what is a man, how do you define manliness, and then the subject of a man's duty to protect came up. Let's listen to how she articulates the question.
What I need to know from you,
we're going door next,
sir, is what?
I have to be very careful here, y'all, because they will mute you and kick you. So you kind of got to play their little
when we're just kind of like game. Out and about.
Who protects women when we are just out and about?
You said what protects women when you're out and about?
Who protects us? So if you all are the protectors, who protects us when we're out and about? Like you don't know me from a can of paint and somebody's trying to harm me. What you gonna do? You gonna protect me?
Well, it just depends on the scenario. It depends on
exactly.
if
you are not a protector, sir. See, that's what I'm talking about. You all
you didn't let
are
me
not
finish.
protecting
You
anyone.
didn't even
It
let me
doesn't
finish my
matter.
answer.
What you
They just muted him right here. That's what it says down below.
didn't say was, yes, I would protect you, because that's what a protector would say. See, me, if I see a person, it doesn't matter who it is. If I see a person getting harmed, I am going to do something.
No. And that is that you have a duty to protect the sovereignty of the people you love. You don't have to protect everybody because protection automatically comes with conditions and circumstances.
Yes.
For example, I wouldn't protect a child molester. That would be a condition and circumstance. That doesn't mean that I'm not a protector. It just means that I'm not going to protect that individual person because they don't align with me. Again, you have a duty to protect the sovereignty of the people that you love. And if they're outside of that or you don't see fit to protect those people, it doesn't mean that you're less manly. But if you do go out of your way to protect a person who is weaker in a situation where they need protection, I think that would be associated with manliness and bravery. And this is why traits like bravery, stoicism, and all these different traits are associated with masculinity, because they ultimately contribute to you being able to better protect and provide.
Listen, clap it up for PMP right there. I love this explanation when he was describing that. And the thing is that what I find so interesting is that at the moment that he said, well, there's conditions for protection, then the black feminist responded and see, you not a protector. See, you don't even see what I would do in this situation. I would just come and protect anybody, no matter what within the situation. These women romanticize violence. They romanticize people's intentions while defining your masculinity. We've just seen with this gentleman who's locked up right now a potential negative consequence of being a white knight, of being a protector of all and not being a protector of your loved ones. But they can't fathom this truth because they idealize what a man is while also projecting what men are not. See, they want to weaponize a man for protection and at the same junction, demonize that same man for being violent. Well, which one is it? You have to pick one. See, if you listen long enough, you begin to understand the pure ridiculousness or the globe or the bubble that they situate, how they idealize what this world is, the reality that they live in, and what their role should be and what your role should be. Shit, I've told stories that I've been involved in on this channel of women that I've been involved with that were instigating situations because, again, they romanticize what was going to happen when we all got together. There's many of these women out here that'll sign you guys up for a fight and then walk away when it's time to get down. You guys must be aware of this. You must protect yourself at all times and live life based off of your decisions. Don't be caught out here slipping. Don't be a crash out because they command what is right within your masculinity or they're defining what your manliness is. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, I think we've reached the end of the video right here. Guys, drop me a line down below. I think this is going to be one of them heated ass conversations again. So let's get active. Send this video out to the team, all right, to the associates, to that damn feminist that claims she wants equality, demonizes men for being violent, but then wants to activate a man for violent reasons for her own bidding. Send it to her as well, all right? She's got to see the content as well. Nevertheless, though, guys, drop me your comments down below. Last but not least, men's self-development community. Link to it down below. Click in, beam up, see the dope things that are in store, and I will see you guys soon. Until next time, YouTube, peace.
She belongs to the street.
Girl, don't hold my hand. You a mattress actress on the OnlyFans. Get your money, girl, but damn, how is that your only plan? What you gonna do when you get too old to strip and dance? Get up out your echo chamber screaming period and yes. You a low down dirty woman if you try to get knocked up by